So the Arabic department in any international school, I think, has a lot of challenge from the beginning of the year, depending on the kind of the curriculum and the teacher, as well the teacher staff for teaching the Arabic for native or non-native. So we are working in King's College Riyadh to have all of these solutions from the beginning of the year by give the native students the national identity curriculum, following the Ministry of Education, of course. And for non-native students, we create our own curriculum, actually, depending on different criteria, starting from early years till year 13 at the end of the school. So a lot of things to do with Arabic language, especially when you have a lot of different nationalities and different religions as well in the school. So the challenge is for Islamic studies for native, Arabic for native, Arabic B for non-native, Islamic B for non-native Muslims as well. So all of these things we arranged from day one in the school to give the opportunity to a lot of families. Actually, they are very keen and interested to learn Arabic. A lot of different nationalities in Riyadh now, very keen to learn Arabic. Sometimes when I'm in the school gate in the morning, one of my students come to school and say, "Good morning, Mr. Muhammad. Marhaba, Mr. Muhammad. Sabah al-Khair, Mr. Muhammad," with different things in English and in Arabic. So yeah, regarding your questions, we can do that by give the teachers all the facilities and qualified teachers, of course, for this kind of curriculum, and to give them opportunity to learn and to teach Arabic in the good ways for the international schools.
All right. So basically, King's College, they also have a more focus on Arabic as a second language because of the majority of the students also that you were mentioning from different nationalities. Nada, would you like to shed the light on the experience of MISC schools, and specifically when it comes to teaching Arabic as a first language?
Well, just adding to Dr. Muhammad's points, how to support the Arabic language, or how to support any language learning. Students have to be exposed to the language. They have to see it in every aspect of the school life. And that cannot be done of like only one department have the responsibility of doing of promoting the language. So it has to come from top down. As you know, like many of the international schools, leaderships are expats or they don't speak the language of Arabic. So it has to be in the agenda of the executive leadership team to promote the Arabic language and to have it in every aspect of the school's life. For example, the students have to see it in the hallway. They have to be a part of the assemblies every week. And also that will help to raise the profile of the language. And as Dr. Muhammad says, students, parents, all of the stakeholders are keen to learn the Arabic language, but we have to encourage that and promote that.
Excellent. Dr. Kauthar, the IB promotes the native mother tongue and the mother language. From your experience with multiple international schools in the region, what ideas or initiatives we would say that and best practices can better serve conserving the identity of our learners within the international school approach?
Thank you, Hatem. I cannot emphasize more what Nada just said. Charity begins at home. The first stop is for students to see Arabic around them all day long. It isn't a matter of a 45-minute lesson in a day. It isn't a language that they speak only at home. It isn't a language that is not important, because when they leave school and go to the world of become professionals or go to companies, etc., actually knowing a language and speaking another language is a plus, and that language should not be English. They're learning in English, everything. But if our brochures, if, as you said, Nada, in the hallways, etc., that's very important. The second thing would be, and it is a motto, to be quite honest, it's on the second slide, it's the motto down there, more collaboration, less competitiveness. Schools need to come together to promote the learning of Arabic. Come together as in share initiatives, have Jabal-like sessions, share experiences, share resources. This is very important. And I've seen this happening in some parts of the Arab world where teachers come together on a 6 month basis to share experiences and resources. They have, for example, something as simple as a Google Drive folder where they share the resources. I promote this when I do workshops for the IB in Arabic. I ask teachers to share their contacts and to start putting things in folders and sharing resources for them to use inside the Arabic classroom. Access as well is very important. What Dr. Muhammad spoke about is the sort of distribution of students into native language speakers and non-native language speakers. And as beautiful as it is that foreign students are interested in learning Arabic, it hurts me to see that our students are not interested in learning Arabic. And this has to do with two things. First of all, the big divide between spoken Arabic and modern standard Arabic. They see modern standard Arabic as something that they do not use at all, and that is because we do not promote it. And the resources we use are not up to the student's level. So there's a huge gap in the zone of proximal development between what the students know and can do and what they're learning. So if I go into a classroom with students who can barely write a sentence in Arabic, and I start because the book tells me that I have to cover I know that some of you will be able to explain this. Are you all able to explain this? Imagine the students inside the classroom. But when I go in and tell them, get a text about Google, get a text about a big event in Saudi Arabia that is happening, or in Egypt. And the second thing, as you will see on the slide, the other side, that's fine, is allow them to reflect. Yes, we can give them texts about, for example, wedding traditions in Egypt. This is part of what, it's a text, it's a reading text. At the end of the lesson, allow them to reflect about their own culture. What's happening at home? Don't tell me that students in Saudi Arabia do not attend weddings and cultural weddings at that. What's happening? Write about what's happening. What did you learn? How are they similar? How are they different? Allow them to use the language in day-to-day context. This is very important. And do the phasing. In the IB, we have the phases within the subject. So it isn't only a matter of Arabic for first language speakers versus Arabic for foreign language speakers or للناطقين بغيرها. It is a matter of phases. The Google this morning, I was very impressed. It's Mark, was it Mark? He said personalized learning, no size fits all. Personalized learning is very, very important. I'm sorry.
Excellent. No, not at all. I mean, let me quote, allowing learners to speak their language in multiple contexts. I would take that and go to Muhammad just before, and then I will come to Dr. Jamal over here. When it comes to creating the opportunities for learners to speak their own language. So we are here in a panel speaking about Arabic language, but we're not speaking in Arabic. So I believe this is a question that might be in the minds of many of our audience. Muhammad, can you shed the light on the initiative that was initiated by King's College School and Downhouse, RISAC, for our Arabic-speaking teachers and people who are interested to join that moving forward here in Riyadh?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, 2 years ago, the idea was to create a committee, especially for Arabic language teachers in Riyadh. Our headmaster, Mr. Gunn, and myself create all these things committee. The committee called RISAC, which means Riyadh International School Committee for our Arabic teachers. The aim of this committee to share experience between the teachers around international schools in Riyadh. We started 2 years ago in King's College, at King's College and Downhouse. You know Downhouse, the sister school of the King's College, only for girls. So we started all of these things 2 years ago, and last year was the number of schools, about 15 international schools attended the event of this. We will continue this year and inshallah next year's. The idea will be like twice a year, one in any other international school. The school has to host the event. Of course, we are happy in King's College to host it every time, but we give the opportunity to other schools to have that kind of sharing experience. And I think in November it will be in Misk, and in May it will be again in King's College, Riyadh. Every time we have different topic as well for the committee or the conference. The last time was about the challenge in Arabic language. What are the challenges for Arabic language teachers in international schools? We spoke about the curriculum, facilities, resources. As Arabic language, do we have helpful resources for Arabic, for teaching the native or non-native students? The balance between the lessons in international schools, do we have that balance? Do we have time? For example, in early years, in our school, we have 30 minutes, daily 30 minutes Arabic lesson for the early years. And a lot of parents talk about more timing for the Arabic lessons at Islamic. So we will talk in the next topic and committee about how can we give the solutions for the learners and Arabic teachers to talk about the Arabic in international schools, especially and you know, we will have more than, I think, if I'm wrong or not, 700 schools will open next 2 years in Riyadh, British schools, IB schools. So I think when we have something like this, like RISAC, it's very important to focus in Arabic and Islamic or social studies for the learners.
Definitely. That is a wonderful opportunity, and we promise that all the deliberations take place in Arabic language over there, not in English like here. Mr. Jamal, Mr. Jalal, how can parents, particularly those who are non-Arabic speakers, be supported in facilitating their children's learning of Arabic language from your experience and specifically with the tool that you are providing with the company?
Actually, for parents in general, particularly for non-Arabic speakers, actually they need content and they need feedback about the students' progress. For the content, they need rich content. This content must be aligned with the international standard and the official curriculum. This content must be aligned with our tradition and our religion. Error-free content, engaging content. This content to be available for the students at home to continue learning and being exposed to Arabic content also at home. This content to be introduced in a gamified environment for the students to encourage them to practice more and more. Also, the parents need to know exactly, or at least to know the weaknesses for their children to start work on them. The parents need to be able to understand the requirements for their children. They need to understand the scope and sequence. We have to provide them with the content in English because since they don't know Arabic, they need to have reports in English. So the interface, the system, the content must be designed for non-native. From the content itself and for the interface and the reports and the statistics must be delivered to the parents in Arabic and in English mainly. And this content and interface available for them at home to be able to follow up with their children's progress and attainments.
Excellent. So accessibility and availability. Zaina, can you relate to that, being brought up in a non-Arabic speaking family yourself?
I had a feeling you were going to say that. First, thank you so much for having me on this panel. I'm a true educator, passionate educator at heart, so this is something that really resonates with me. I am a non-native speaker, guilty myself, but I have to actually really say thank you to my parents who instilled the Arabic language at home. So that was one major factor of how I acquired the language in a Western world, how I learned, my parents only actually used to speak to me in Arabic. So that was how I acquired the language, and then when I moved across seas here, I see that I currently work at Aleph Education, and they work on edtech tools that promote native and non-native Arabic tools, resources for parents. So one way parents can also sort of work on promoting the Arabic language, specifically non-native parents, are investing in resources, children books, books that are bilingual, and promoting that at home. Another way that they can do that is to sort of promote them and encourage them to have to be present in the community with their peers, with interacting with other Arabic speakers and so forth. Something that is also something that they can start doing is actually trying to acquire the Arabic language themselves, and it could be a co-bonding activity between them and their children. But I definitely have to agree with the other panelists. They need to be exposed to the language. It needs to be part of their everyday life, not just in school, but also at home, in their community. If you go to a restaurant, for example, encourage your child to read the menu in Arabic, or explain to you as a non-native parent what it means. So exposure is key here as well.
Excellent. And how is your Arabic? A1, A2, B1, B2?
We can discuss that.
All right.
You can test me later on my Arabic skills.
Dr. Kauthar, any spoken language is a reflection of its people's culture. How can we ensure that our students learn the linguistic aspect, they consolidate and acquire the cultural facets as well, and it's not only the linguistic aspect of it?
So I would say it isn't only inside the classroom. Field trips need to align to what the students are doing inside the classroom. Service learning as well. So in IB schools, for example, you have CAS, you have the community project, you have the exhibition. So whatever they're learning inside the classroom, if it's aligned to experiences that they're doing outside the classroom, then they will be able to learn the culture. The other day, I was happily, or let's say pleasantly surprised by the Ifrat library in the Eastern Province. An amazing library with loads of resources in Arabic about metaphysics, for example. So do we encourage our students and our parents to spend time at cultural centers, for example, like Ifrat? Do we take them on field trips to certain areas in Saudi Arabia? Do we take them on field trips to areas in the Arab world where they can? It is still our culture, isn't it? So we have our local culture and we have our pan-Arab sort of culture, and that can happen when teachers start collaborating, when teachers themselves feel that they are respected enough to be offered opportunities, PD opportunities in Arabic. So when they're not just add-ons in workshops, but when the schools invest in getting or ensuring that whoever is doing the PD for teachers is doing it in Arabic, when schools encourage their teachers to become trainers in Arabic. And when we do this, when teachers start speaking about how important it is to instill the culture, not only the linguistic knowledge. So I can say a sentence in Arabic, but I'll tell you what, very quickly though, I'm not a teacher of Arabic, I'm a teacher of English. But when I read, my emotions, my heart, everything is engaged when I read in Arabic, when I read poetry, when I read novels. Okay, I teach Shakespeare, but I do not feel Shakespeare as much as I feel, for example, the poetry of Nizar Qattan. Just an example. All right, there are many other poets, Dr. Muhammad here. All right, so it's the same thing. When we promote this, when we promote positive pride, I don't want to say just pride, positive pride in our students, in who they are, what they know, the charity that begins at home. When they see the importance of Arabic in their own school, when we speak to parents, it isn't only non-native speakers. Native speakers who insist on their kids learning a language that is different than their mother tongue. I want my kid to be taught in English because that is perceived as the language of good education. Well, it isn't that case. It isn't that. If we put enough resources into creating a curriculum, we get a framework that was originally written in English, translate or Arabize, if you allow me, that curriculum, and start teaching in Arabic, then students will love the language. And this is easily done because we see it in a lot of our either PYP schools that are offering the PYP in Arabic or PYP schools that are offering, for example, the dual language PYP. So they're offering it in both Arabic and English.
Excellent. And we also know the international calendar of UNESCO, there are many international days that can be celebrated as well, so that they can celebrate the culture, the International Day of Arabic Language, the International Day of the Mother Tongue language. So if it's in Arabic, like for example, if I may refer to Nada, we understand that Misk Schools has the most high percentage of students who are Saudi students with language or Arabic as a language A. But you do also have students with Arabic as language B, and this challenge to counterpart it or to face it, what are the measures that are taken by Misk Schools?
So our main challenge is to have like 90% of Arabic speaker students and like few percent of non-Arabic speaker students. So our medium language of instructor is English. However, the expectation from all of the stakeholders, from the school board, parents, leadership team, that the students have to be like fluent both in Arabic and English. At the time, we have like 70% of our school day is in English and 30% of the school day is in Arabic. We can't duplicate our day, we can't change that, so we have to come up with solution. What we looked at is the translinguistic approach by St. Williams. It's an approach that you have a systematic alternation between two languages. This approach is, it believes that the students, or the bilingual students, doesn't have a separate code of two languages. They believe it's one linguistic repertoire where the students choose to access the information in a particular context. I will give you an example. If a student, for example, writing an article in Arabic, they should have the flexibility to do the research in English. And vice versa, in English classes, if they want to, but they are comfortable more in Arabic language, they use the language, or they receive the information in one language, then they would use it in another language. How do we do it in Misk schools? We are fortunate that in lower primary, KG as well, we have two teachers in the classroom. One speaks Arabic, one speaks English. So the expectation that they collaborate and they design some activities that can be like some in Arabic and some in English, that students can alternate between these two languages. Another thing is the expectation that every classroom, every lesson, no matter the subject or the language, they have to have the key vocabulary bilingual in Arabic and English. So the students have access to the information in whatever language that they feel are comfortable. The main thing of learning Arabic language or English language, what we do, that the teachers collaborate in terms of teaching literacy skills. Let's say like they are teaching reading skills, and then instead of having the Arabic teachers plan something else or using different approach, and the English teacher use totally different approach and confusing the students. We follow the same approaches of teaching reading and writing. So the students can, like if they learn how to write a story in English, they can use these skills to implement it in Arabic classes and write like an Arabic story. So again, we based our approach in this trans language where we believe the students have, the bilingual students have one linguistic repertoire where they can choose whatever content or information they need to access based on the particular context. That's in summary our how did we approach it to come over the challenge of time and the exposure of Arabic language in the school.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing this, Nada. Translingual approach. I know that we have representatives from the Dhahran Ahliya School here. We have Mr. Bilal and Mr. Rola. And
I'll say something just like I want to acknowledge Dr. Sally Turki,
of course,
who inspired us in this. Dr. Sally Turki, she is like we can say that she's the one who believes that Arabic language should be the same as English, the same quality.
Yes, we all do, but she took measures in that as well. Excellent.
Yes, and
Yes.
that to that as well.
That's why I would like to hear from them if they are ready for that by the end of the panel, of course, so that we can also have an overview about the bilingual approach that is very much successful in the Dhahran Ahliya School. Mr. Jalal, again, Jalal. As educators, let me go to the technological approach here. How can we implement strategies and use technology tools? We mentioned that the tools of technology is not just for the sake of technology, but for the sake of linking it with academics from our previous speakers as well, to make sure that students have this access to all the essential resources of acquiring Arabic language, whether as a first or a second language.
From our experience, or from what we're doing now in Bravo, let's say the AI, the new concept or the new technology now, the AI, we're using simple AI algorithms. So the system can create a remedial plan for every single student based on his weaknesses. And the system is able now to introduce and update this remedial plan to the students without any effort from the teacher. We're using now technology to implement the concept of differentiated learning in the right way. So every single student is receiving content based on his needs, based on his level. It's all managed by the teacher, but at least the student now is receiving content based on his needs. Also using technology now, we're promoting the student to the next year with his detailed academic history. So the teacher in next year are able now to know the details and exactly the student's level in the prerequisites for the lessons they're going to teach. The students now is able to study anytime, anywhere. He can repeat the lesson twice, 3 times based on his needs. We're offering interactive questions. The idea of having a technology is to allow the student to be exposed to the Arabic language mainly, or to the Arabic content outside the classroom, based on his need, based on his time. Also, the main idea, now the schools are now able to modify their plans based on the statistics from the system. This will allow them to make the right decision based on the data they're collecting from the system. This is, we think, is how we implement technology in order to help the schools to make the best use of technology, and how we make the content available, and the content available for the students based on their needs, based on their personal needs.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Jalal. And Zaina, would you like to add on this with your experience with Alif Education?
Yeah, I concur with everything Dr. Jalal has mentioned. I just want to add on a little bit here with technology integration and features so it's sort of our responsibility as edtech companies to develop these features that promote multilingualism, allowing students to sort of tune into their full repertoire of languages, and technology enables us to do that, right? So you have features where you have translation features, accessibility to this new content, to these resources. So they now have this content available at their fingertips to use. So that is very valuable for them in the sense of technology integration in classrooms. We also have currently in Alif Education, we have different edtech tools that cater to native and non-native speakers. So we also focus on scaffolding the content and putting it in bite-sized lessons where they're able to sort of take their time with it, take their own approach, and then definitely what's really important here is adopting a personalized learning approach. So it's adaptive in a way where we are filling the gaps and the needs of that specific learner. Everyone is a different type of learner, they have different needs. So these softwares and these programs are already telling them or helping them guide the way. So definitely technology isn't this by itself the only solution, but it's how we use these resources in the classroom. It's the pedagogies behind it, the implementation and the methodologies that will help us integrate these resources within the classroom. With regards to data, I think it's also, as Dr. Jalala has mentioned, this is really important because the data helps teachers make data-driven strategies and decisions in their classroom. So this data is already giving these teachers the insights of how are they doing? Do I need to differentiate my classroom even further? Are some students behind? Do I need to intervene? There's also a blended learning approach that could be happening here, so they could also sort of use offline activities to support this learning as well. But it is also very important to be aware of how their progress and these data insights really help, specifically when it's provided in real time.
Excellent, thank you for sharing that, Zaina. For the interest of time, I would like to hear a message from each one of our esteemed panelists. That this message is addressing whether parents, schools, administration, teachers, or the whole world at large, in terms of what do we need to do to support our mother language, the Arabic language, in the preparation of this academic year. And after we finish, I would insist to hear from Bilal or Rola about their experience. We cannot have a panel about Arabic language in Saudi and not hear from the Haran Ahliya School. So Nada, please go ahead.
My message is to the school leadership team or the Arabic teachers. Please raise the profile of Arabic and have it everywhere in the school. Have the students exposed to it. And as Ms. Kauthar said, raise the profile of the language and have it in a high quality presented to the students. Thank you.
I guess my message is about technology. Adopt technology. It's great to see that we have institutions in the Arab world that are producing material in Arabic. Okay, but do not rely on that. It's great that we have Alif Education. It's great that we have Bravo. I know that we have representatives from the leading minds in the room as well, and the program of العربية. At the same time, be very careful when we use them. Just think about the pedagogy first, and then create the curriculum and use technology. If it's of no use, then don't use it. Not at large, but if it is it's never of no use, full stop. If it's of no use for this particular lesson, for this particular event, for this particular event.
Actually, my message to the school leaders of the school that Arabic language is one of the most important languages around the world. So, for parents, please speak Arabic with your kids at home. Give them time for Arabic. Because a lot of parents come to me in the meeting, my son or my kid would like to speak Arabic. The first question for me, did you speak Arabic with your son at home? No, only English. So give them time to speak Arabic. Give them time, let's say 30 or 40 minutes, to listen to Arabic, to speak Arabic, to know and learn new vocabulary in Arabic. So in this way, you can give the opportunity to your kids to be bilingual when we grow up. For the teachers, especially for the Arabic teachers, please try to use different strategies when you teach Arabic. Sometimes we need to have all the school strategy in the classroom, but under 2030 vision, we have to give the students more chances to learn Arabic with different ways. Actually, in our school and new schools in Riyadh and under the RC as well, to give them a lot of opportunities to learn Arabic in the different ways. And for Arabic teachers as well, try to be bilingual teachers. We need bilingual teachers. The Arabic teachers will speak Arabic and he can speak English as well, because many different international schools now teaches Arabic as a first and a second language. So I think this is my message for the leaders or for the head of department of Arabic or Islamic around the school. Be creative. I think the keyword is collaborative responsibility from all the teams and all the departments to make it happen at the end of the academy.
Thank you.
For me, for the school administrators, I think they need to allocate more resources for Arabic language. Printed resources, classrooms, digital resources, but the idea is to support the Arabic languages with all the needed resources. The teachers continuously, they need professional development. How to teach Arabic, how to teach the learning outcomes for Arabic, how to use the best technology, how to manage the classroom in teaching Arabic language. Continuous professional development for the teachers, I think, is extremely important. For the parents to provide environment at home in which the student or the children can read a story in Arabic, listen to or watch a video in Arabic. This is very important to allow the student to continuously be engaged and exposed to Arabic language. And when it comes to technology, it's important to know that technology, as you all know, was made to help people. If the technology that you're using is not helping you, then you don't have to use it. Make sure to select the right technology and make sure that this technology is helping you achieving your goals and helping the teachers and students in gaining the Arabic language.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
To school leaders, I think it's really important to plan, language planning, and research sort of describes this in 3 different orientations. So language as a resource, language as a tool, and language as a right. So it is the students' right to learn Arabic, to expose them to this language, and to use it as a resource, as a tool within the classroom. So I think it's really important to take these 3 orientations, bring them to light, and spend time on language planning. For teachers, I have to voice what Nada mentioned, because I'm currently working on my thesis in translanguaging, but actually in the context of mathematics education. So bring new methodologies to the classroom. Translanguaging is something that is trending very much right now, currently, and it's proven to be very, very successful. This is across multiple different literature reviews and research. So these are different, there's many different methodologies, many different strategies that you can bring to the classroom to help you. Yes, technology is one of them, but you don't want to keep on saying technology. You want to know how to use it and how to promote that learning within the classroom. So definitely keep on exploring, keep on looking into the new things that are trending in the field now. And to parents, as I mentioned earlier, exposure. Let your children understand the importance of Arabic and what it has to do with your culture. It embodies and everything in your everyday life. No, don't speak to them in English or French or Spanish or whatever your first language might be, what they're used to as a language, but speak to them in Arabic. Ask them how their day was in Arabic. Watch TV in Arabic. So exposure is really, really important, and it's their right to learn it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. As I said, now the focus will be at the back of the room. Please, Rola, the floor is yours.
Like our colleagues were saying, everything on the walls is in both languages. Any letters that goes to parents is in both languages. You do give it the importance that it's important to us. We implement the IB program. So in the PYP, we start with their mother tongue language. We keep talking about identity, so you should start it with their language. So we start PYP, maybe 75% of the instruction time is given in Arabic and 25% is in English. But again, we focus on the idea of the language itself. So everything we do as strategies, we do them in both languages the same way. The human brain is amazing how it does the connection for the child. So if you do the same reading strategy in Arabic and English, they do that connection. If you focus on concept in both languages, they get that together. And to prove that this is a huge thing for children to do, we check all of our data throughout the years. Our students who score in the English language when they are in grade 7 and 8 as native speakers. So although we focus on the Arabic language as they grow up, we eventually end up being 50-50 in the MYP program, both instruction, both languages. And I'm talking about instruction languages like math or science. There is years that we still teach them in Arabic. And at the end, if you do really good alignment and you do really good teaching strategies in both languages, you end up getting your students proficient in both. That's exactly what you want for your students. They're going to come back and serve their country. We keep talking about they know their own language. So you do want them to stand up in front of any event, being able to present themselves in both languages the same way. And we've been spending years on this, trying to make sure it exists. And I'm sure a lot of you around the room does that in other languages, like in French or Spanish. They do dual language schools, and that's how they focus on it. But the idea is, if you really want to focus on identity for your students, start with their mother tongue language. It does magic. And language is language at the end. Don't think if you start with their mother tongue language, they can't do English. Yes, they can. And a child's brain is a lot easier to absorb information. So when they're younger and you start that with them, it's easier for them to pick up the languages than when you start at a later stage. And I'm going to ask my colleague if you'd like to add something.
Not really, you mentioned everything. Just the challenging part, and what Rola is saying, is not the students. The students will be able to grab that very quickly, very easily. Their brain are going to integrate both languages, and the translanguaging thing is going to be very easy. The challenging part is us as adults, as educators and as teachers, to have a full conviction of what's going on. And what we do in that regard is a lot of training and follow a based model to bring evidence, data, and focus on the science of reading. Thank you.
Excellent. I really thank you so much for that. And I believe that this is a collective concern. And hence, we have kind of passed our time a little bit. But I really do want to see if, or hear from anyone from the audience, if you really want to add to this, especially Ms. Mary, of course, with the IB organization. Please do.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's such an important topic, and you all know that I've started our session with talking about that. I'd like to just make a comment and be a critical friend when our colleague mentioned that an Arabic teacher has to be a bilingual teacher. My question is why? Why is the English teacher monolingual possibly, or the French teacher, or the Spanish teacher? What really matters, in my opinion, is the quality of the teacher and not what their second language or third language. If it happens to be that the Arabic teacher speaks English, that's fine, but we want them to be good teachers. And I think there is a danger in schools that we hire the bilingual teachers just because they're bilingual and not emphasize their quality Arabic teaching. We're sometimes very demanding of our Arabic teachers. What we really want is Arabic teachers that love their culture, love their language, and want to change and are ready to become better and learn from their colleagues in other languages. Allow me, I hope I didn't bother you by my comment, but I just wanted to make a statement about it, and maybe one message also to schools. I go into schools quite often in the Middle East, and it breaks my heart that the Arabic teachers are always in the work offices. Nobody talks to them. And when we talk to them about developing professional development in the schools, they're always ignored. No, they're not heard. Their teaching load is huge. And they are not given a chance to integrate in the school. And you don't even feel it's a school in that country. So my advice
100%.
is please
100%.
give attention
100%.
to your people that are part of you. Allow those role models Saudi men, Saudi women, to talk to your kids, bring them in. Let them have role models in their own country. I talk as a parent and I talk as a grandparent. And had that not been done to my own children, I don't think they would have been where they are, and they would have contributed to their country. So please take this seriously and don't be a school that is brag about the quality of the English and don't brag about the quality of the Arabic.
Excellent.
And we have to change the mindset of the parents. You are right with that.
100%.
Because the parents are the problem.
100%. We are the problem. All right. Absolutely. Well, we second that, Ms. Mary, of course.
Thank you very much.
And if I may clarify as well, maybe Mohammed's notion here in terms of a bilingual teacher, if you are teaching a language and you learn a second language and a third language, you put yourself in the shoes of your learner, so accordingly you'll be able to teach it well because you understand both perspectives. Correct me if I'm wrong. I will need to wrap up, I'm sorry, because we have passed and Kian here is just gonna punch me. But yes, that's the reason why we are in this event, and that's the reason why we have this session, and it's not the first. As Mohammed mentioned, RESAC is there, and there will be a surprise event, inshallah, at MISC schools, maybe by the end of this academic year, so watch this space. We really have dignity and pride with our native tongue, the Arabic language, and that's why we want to move forward with it and bring it up to the level. Thank you so much, my esteemed panelists, for this, and I hope that we have added value to our audience. Thank you so much.
If you are interested to attend RESAC, just contact me, and I'm here for the end of the day. The RESAC, the committee that I talked about the Arabic committee, just contact me and I can answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.